Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. I have here an Esterbrook pen. Yes, another Esterbrook, but it's my first of this kind. This one was actually gifted to me by Blesskit Canada. They no longer have these in stock, but I have been wanting to purchase this for quite some time, and the people at Blesskit were so kind to gift this to me. So thank you. You know who you are. And I'm just I've had this on my desk for quite a few weeks. I haven't had a chance to unbox it or ink it just because of this last month being so crazy, but now I can dedicate some time to this beautiful pen. So it comes in this beautiful box with pictures of the nib and the Esterbrook logo, established in 1858. Oh, I like this one. Caution, the first steel pens manufactured in America were made by Richard Esterbrook in 1858. So it's trying to bring back that vintage, or the feel from the original 1858. So this particular box, you actually pull it out like this, and it comes in the typical Esterbrook box. But what's different about this, instead of this being a clamshell where you open, you actually pull it out like this. And there is the pen. So it comes with a cartridge, which I never use, and then you have this little envelope here with a little QR code that you scan to activate your pen, or else it just pulls up the warranty information. And here we have the Esterbrook Model J in antique rose. Oh my gosh. Now, the first time I ever saw this pen was actually at the San Francisco Pen Show last year, and I was always unsure about it because I wasn't sure about the size, but I've just been thinking about this pen ever since. And now that I have this, I'm very tempted to get the violet one that also came out. But I love the classic look of this. You've got it looks like wood grain, but this is ebonite. And then you have the, what is the word for that? Not battered, but it's got a texture, that gold finish around there. Obviously not real gold, but that gold finish has a bit of a texture on there. And then you've got the clip, which actually, that's a very good clip. I don't use clips really, but that one actually has a good spring to it. And then you have the Esterbrook logo there on the finial. And ooh, like, look at how that all comes together. I don't know if you can see that, but that all comes together there. I love that. Love that. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to see how many turns it takes to uncap. You've got the 1, and it looks like it's about 2. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's try this again. 1. Just a little over 2. But this cap also has the inner cap mechanism, similar to the Estie as well. And then you have the Yovo nib here, which is gold plated, and this is an extra fine nib. And just looking at the grip section and the threads here, the threads are actually not at all sharp, and you've got a little bit of a taper going down to the nib and a bit of a lip here to prevent your finger from going down onto the nib if you are the one who likes to grip your pen like pretty much on the nib. I hold it back here, and I find that the threads are actually not sharp at all, and there is a very smooth step from the grip to the body. And then inside the pen you have the Esterbrook converter as well, so I love that that is included. And wow, so far, how do I feel about this pen? I love the classic look of it. It fits actually quite well in my hand. It's, well, I mean, you certainly could post it. It definitely stays there, but I'd be afraid of scratching that. But also, I don't normally post my pens. I feel like that kind of back weights it, so it's not one that I would post, but it is possible to do that. But for me, this fits actually quite nicely in my hand like that, and I find that really, really comfortable. So let's go ahead and compare this pen to other pens in my collection. We'll go ahead and weigh it, and then we'll do a quick rating sample. So there is the Esterbrook Model J, and let's compare it to an Esterbrook Estie, and you can definitely see that the Estie looks longer, but I also think that is due to the cone shape of the finials. Then I'm going to compare it to a Memento Zero. It actually is pretty similar in size to the Memento Zero. And then I will compare to a Le Bon 325. That is a big pen when you look at it like that. Then I will also compare it to one of my newer ones, a Franklin Christoph Model 31. Gosh, that Model 31 looks huge now. And then I will compare it to a Lamy 2000. Actually, in terms of size, it's pretty similar in length to the Lamy 2000, but this is girthier in terms of the width of the body. So let's look at all of these uncapped. So there are all of the pens uncapped, and you can actually see how similar in size the Estie is to the Model J. And in terms of the grip section, I feel like the Model J is actually slightly wider. The Estie does not have that lip at the bottom towards the nib. Now the Estie does have a very smooth transition from the grip to the body, whereas it's a little bit more pronounced in the Model J. And then comparing it to the Memento Zero, it actually is about the same length. It's just that tiny little cone at the end there that makes it slightly longer than the Model J. And then the Le Bon 325, definitely the, well, not the longest, but it is pretty long, and it is probably the widest out of all, but it's actually not too different from the Model J, which is probably why I find it comfortable. And these all have the Jowo number 6 nibs, as well as the Franklin Christoph also has the Jowo number 6 nib, and it is similar in size. So you can see just from the pens that I own, the size and the length that I prefer in terms of comfort, and I'm really finding what is working for me after a bit of experimentation about acquiring and letting go. I've been able to find the size that works for me, and you can see that in the pen comparisons here. So let's go ahead and weigh the pen and do a quick writing sample. So capped, this pen weighs 23 grams, which actually feels really light. And uncapped with an empty converter in there, don't roll away, it's 14 grams. So the cap itself is 8 or 9 grams. So that's why it does feel a little bit back weighted when you post it. Yeah, it feels like it's gonna fall off my hand there, so I don't post it. So let's go ahead and do a quick writing sample. So here are some of the inks that I thought I would try and do a writing sample. I'm not going to ink this up right now because I already have 11 pens inked up, but I thought I would give, you know, Monteverde Moonstone a try. I actually had this inked in my TWSBI Eco Cafe Bronze, and it's been so lovely to write with. Then Diamine Chocolate Brown, Ferris Wheel Press Writing Desk. I'm feeling like that would be a bit too light, although, yeah, I don't think it would match probably. Then Diatramentis Document Brown, probably not, so I'd actually move these out of the way. Colorverse Dakota Thunder, ooh, that's also a contender. Or Diamine Triple Chocolate. I actually don't think this will do, or this will do. Let's try Diamine Chocolate Brown. So here we are in my Galen Leather A5 notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. I'm just going to do a dip test of this pen and ink combination, and I'm going to just do a quick dip test. Sorry, distracted by a notification on my phone. So the brand is Esterbrook. Oh, wow. And the model is the Model J. And the Model J, and I haven't said this, the Model J is supposed to be representative of the pens that were originally made back in 1858. And the nib on here is an extra fine nib, and the color is Antique Rose. And it is inked with Diamine Chocolate. Oh wow, that's so smooth. Brown. I kept going back and forth on this pen. I thought it was too small and too boring compared to the Estie, but it kept coming back to me. And I'm so glad I found this because it doesn't seem to be available anywhere right now. This nib, this extra fine nib, is smooth and it's wet and the pen is comfortable. Now, do I like this better than the Estie? So there is my unboxing of the Esterbrook Model J. I feel like I'm a little late to the party here, but I do really like this pen. I love this antique rose because of just how classic this looks. And I'm also, like, you know, going through my brown pen, brown ink era, and this just fits in that perfectly. Do I like this better than the Estie? I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to make sure this is one of my currently inked pens for August so that I can really test it out and see whether or not the Estie has a competitor in terms of the top pen or another favorite. I don't know, but so far, first impressions, I love the way it feels in my hand. The nib is smooth and it's just such a beautiful classic looking pen. All right, but that is it for me. Once again, thank you to Blesket Canada for gifting this to me. I love them. They're fantastic. Unfortunately, there are no more of these pens in stock, but there are new models, I say new models, but new colorways of the Model J out. They have the violet, which I'm very, well, blessed. I don't know if Blesket can have the more Model Js, but I know Esterbrook has come out with new colors like violet and blackberry. I am very, very interested in the violet. So we will see. We will see. What do you think of this pen? Do you guys have a Model J? Is it something that you would spend money on? I do have to say, if you were purchasing this, it is a little bit more expensive, and it is a steel nib. So some people wouldn't find that worth it for the amount of money that this is, but it's completely up to you. For me, I think, you know, sometimes the price of a steel nib can seem a little bit expensive, but I find that the overall writing experience between a steel nib and a gold nib sometimes isn't, there isn't a huge difference sometimes for me, but it really depends on the pen. But sometimes steel can be just as good as gold. All right, again, that is me. I will stop babbling. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thanks again and have yourselves a great day.